Can we get that on camera? The handshake?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sit
That was
down.
cool.
All right, and action.
Love it. Help Me Help My Son was originated from me being a vendor at a school for family read night. There was a mother that came to my table and she was so passionate and concerned about her son. And she said to me after fingering through my books, she said to me, do you have something for young men? And I showed her a particular book I had. It's called The Pit Bull of Puppy Love, which focuses on relationships from that of the parent to friendship, and it's for our young men and young girls. And she said, no, I need something for my young African American son. She said to me, she said, you all focus on these young ladies, but no one is out here advocating, providing things for our sons. At that moment, I made a promise to this mom. I told her my next book, I will focus on the concerns of our young men. How many other parents are going through the same struggle, trying to figure out what they can do to uplift, inspire, motivate their sons? What kind of support do they have? I know for me, I have two sons, and I put them in mentorship programs when they were young and they did gymnastics and things of that sort. But what if you don't have that as a resource? What if you don't have that person to talk to, or you feel connected enough that you can confide in without expecting judgment? And so for me, Help Me Help My Son, it's a support film where you'll see others talk about some of the struggles. We'll talk about the struggles and the victories of being the parents, and where you'll hear from the parents, the mentors, and most of all, the young men.
Hi, my name is Listina Martinez, and I am a mother of three wonderful young men.
Hi, my name is Teresa Long. I'm a mother of 8. I have 6 boys and 2 girls.
Hello, I am Deanna Williams. Let me start off by saying I'm a mother of 2 African American males. My oldest son is 30 years old.
Some of my struggles as a single mom is dividing my time between trying to work, build a business, and be a support system to my son, as well as also finances and just mental health, making sure that I have a well-balanced mental health.
Being a parent for young men is a hard challenge for me. Try to teach them the right way to go and what not to do, because in this society now it's hard to let your kids just go and knowing the danger that the society carried now.
I already experienced the details of going through some of what most of our black male teenagers go through. I experienced it, so I'm a little experienced in that area. However, it is the time that has changed that made me have to adjust to the difference in the way I raised my 30-year-old son versus how I'm raising my 15-year-old son.
Being a parent of an African American young man is both rewarding and scary, especially as he gets older and when he wants to go outside to play basketball. I'm not only concerned with who might be in the neighborhood, but also the police, because he's African American and he sometimes likes to wear hoodies. And you know, we live in a very mixed neighborhood, and unfortunately seeing a young black person walk down the street with a hoodie on is automatically presumed that he's doing something he shouldn't. So I not only worry about the gang activities, but I worry about the police. And so I'm always like, check in with me. Let me know when you made it to the park. Let me know when you're coming back. He's at the age now that he doesn't want me to drop him off a lot of times. So I'm just like, okay, be back at this time. And if he's 5 minutes late, I'm calling, like, where are you? Are you okay?
My 15-year-old son has the ability to have everything immediately at his exposure. So I have to be on constant observing of his behavior and the contacts of who he chooses as friends. So that plays a very significant part into what is going on in this world. However, in most parts right now, the problem that I'm having with him is mainly the mouth. He's consistent with being rude, and he feels as though he can speak and say what he wants to say without a filter. So I have to consistently remind him that he has to have a level of respect at all times, because you can't give respect and receive it if you don't know how to give it out.
It's hard with boys, and I have 6 of them, and you need a man to raise the boys. Even though I had a man as their father, I was married for 14 years, and he's still in their life, but he still try to teach them and everything, but they try to act like, you know, it's like they just think they want to do what they need to do and not listen to what he want to say and stuff like that. He always talk to them far as being in church, doing God's will and everything like that. Far as Timothy go, he talks to Tim, but I don't know, Tim probably look at him a little different because he's not Tim's father, but that's who Tim know him as, the father. And and his age that he's at, you know, he's a older man and stuff like that, but I think Tim looking at that and stuff like that. But if Tim push him enough, he would show Tim and stuff like that. But I think he need a mentor. I would like a mentor of a younger man, even though he got younger brothers, but I want a man that really could show Tim what he need to know as far as being a man. Not saying that his dad don't do that, but it's just kind of hard to explain all the things that goes on in Tim's life and in my life and stuff like that, and all my kids' life. It's just kind of hard. But I do wish for a mentor to take on Tim.
Our teenagers, especially our male sons, are seeing a lot of their counterparts getting shot up, getting arrested, and they're seeing this. And sometimes it's important for me to constantly talk to my son about how he has to conduct himself when he's in public, how when the police approach him, how things are said and how he is to address them. Is it always a consistency with him always having to address an officer with a yes sir and no sir? Do it always have to be a level of respect in that area? And I try to teach my son to always respect the authorities, but the authorities forget too that they have to also give respect to our children, but they don't know that. But I try to teach him to have respect for African American males, when he see men of his peers or older men that he see, he is to also address them as sir. You don't choose a category and be selective about who you choose to call sir. I think all men of the African community need to be addressed as sirs from the younger generation. I think it'll build a better dialogue, it'll build a connection, it'll build trust, and I feel like it'll give our young men an opportunity to come back to that young man and remember. I remember when we had an encounter and this young man called me sir. And then it builds something from there, and hopefully we'll be able to get back into that area of having our young men, our younger men, address our preteens and our teenagers, where they can have someone that they can always look up to.
Y'all ready?
Which camera I look at? My name is Timothy Robinson. I'm 16 years old. And
my name is Tori Martinez, 14 years old. I was born in Chicago. My name is Orlando Thomas. I'm in the 10th grade. I like to play basketball and football, and I like playing video games.
My name is Joseph Williams, father of two, husband of Tanya. Post office for 31 years, pastoring for 13 years.
My name is Tanya Williams. As Joe said, I'm his wife of 30 years, coming the end of the month. We have two wonderful young men. I also work for a training organization. We train government employees, and I do a lot in ministry with Joe in the Inglewood community.
My name is Pastor Lindsay, pastor of Word of Truth International in Chicago Heights, retired Chicago police officer.
This is James Edward Hollins III, and this was my gift to my father.
What are your feelings on faith?
I believe that is very important, because at the end of the day, it's like your faith is what helps keep you motivated and stuff. Like I try to keep as much faith as possible in things that I want to do or things that I may be doing or going through, because I know that I'm going to always have my family and God to help me get through the things that I need to.
What does support look like from your siblings?
I mean, they help me with everything else. Probably just a little help when it comes to schoolwork, but I mainly do it on my own. That's only help if I don't know it.
What kind of support do you need from school?
Guidance. Our youth lack guidance. And as a result of that guidance, they are getting into almost any and everything, being led astray. There's no structure in the home, and then when they go to the schools, it's hard for the teachers to actually keep their attention, because they're so used to just doing what they want to do and talking back like they want to talk back, and it's just really out of hand.
What can you tell the children that are in school with you, who look up to you?
Just stay positive and stay motivated, because everybody has different reasons or different ways why they don't do certain things or not positive, or I just want them to stay positive through everything that they go through, because you never know what can happen.
How do you stand out against the rest of them?
I don't talk a lot in class. Most of the time when they tell me to talk, I do it when it was like I turn around and talk to the neighbor that you were just next to, talk about the question that the teacher asked.
What would you say to your parents if you want to just give them a brief message from you? What would you say?
Let me be me. That's really it.
Who are you?
Orlando.
What does it mean to be you?
To be free, free from not do whatever I want, but make my own decisions. Learn how to fall down so I can, pick myself up if I do. Just like skateboarding or riding a bike.
So up to you to teach your children and to train them what they can and can't do. It starts in the home. And if you're allowing your child to see things and do things in the home, and you're laughing and you're validating foolishness, then they don't feel like there's no accountability for their actions, because what they're allowed to do inside the house, they're going to do it on the outside. And unfortunately, when they see other children, when they're exposed to other children, and other children are doing things and they see those things and they come back in the house and they do them, we don't stop our children and say, no, that's not right. I don't care who's doing it. This is not right. This is how you're supposed to live. This is what you're supposed to do. And we have to teach them there are consequences to your actions. And when they learn that early on, then they'll understand it as they get older, because the consequences become harder.
You have to have a certain amount of patience. It's almost like you know what you're dealing with, and so it gives you a certain amount of patience in dealing with them, because a lot of the young men have not even been under the authority of a man. So that's new to them, and at the same time, anytime I have a gathering, if I have 15 or 20 boys, it's always going to be one, at least one, that's going to try to challenge you.
There was a saying back then, it takes a village to raise a child, right? And growing up, the next door neighbor could discipline you, right? Definitely your elders at church or your elders in the school, they were always able to discipline you. And parents didn't really take it personally. They welcomed that help.
My name is Arthur Williams. I'm 22 years old, born and raised in Chicago.
My name is Leland, but I'm a senior. I make music.
I'm Caleb. I'm 12. And I go to Linwood. And I play basketball.
Struggles as a black man, being nervous when I get pulled over by the police. Been plenty of times where police pull up, walk up to the window, first thing they do, put their hand on the gun. Just feeling like I gotta always be on point. Can't never have a bad moment, because I know that can go all the way left. Just having a bad moment in public.
Caleb, you're 12. What can you say are some of the things that young men your age are experiencing and find challenging?
Just staying out of trouble, because everybody want to be cool.
Speak up.
Like staying out of trouble because everybody want to be cool or whatever, and be like somebody else, and it's not that serious.
What's being cool? Define what's being cool.
They be like trying to get into these groups, I guess, whatever you want to call it, like smoke or something like that.
I would say my biggest fear is probably losing someone close to me. Being from Chicago, I can name, as I'm only 22, I can name at least 10 of my friends who've probably lost 10 or more people to gun violence or just any sort of violence. But personally, I'm blessed to say that I can probably name only 3 friends that I've lost to gun violence. And it's crazy that that's considered a blessing in this city, but it is. But it always just makes me feel like seeing my friends always posting rip on social media, somebody around my age, just make me feel like that can happen to anybody.
What type of music are you writing?
All
All type of music? Who's your audience?
young people.
What are you teaching?
Young people, grown people too.
Okay. So,
I'm just making music that's relatable to
okay,
everybody.
you're the influencer. People gonna look up to you. What's your message?
Be yourself. It's not really like, I just make music that people relate to. I rap about whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm going through at the moment. I'll put it on paper. I'll put it on the beat.
Is that your way of releasing? Yes.
That's my way of releasing. That's my way of preaching. That's my way. I can't do what he do, so I preach like that. Yeah, he like the Bible, and that's my way of preaching.
Well, you know what, ministry can goes. Ministry goes in different ways. So your music, you're the influencer. Your music can be a type of ministry. So you say you're teaching people and you're speaking about being yourself. What does being yourself mean?
Staying true to yourself. You know what you like. Don't try to, go out your bubble. Stay in your lane. So I've been finding my own lane. I've been sticking with that path and seeing it be working for me.
Awesome. How are you drawing other people to follow the path that you on?
It's relatable. So if I might say it like rapping about a relationship problem, people gonna pick it up because everybody go through. I mean, we in Chicago, everybody has somebody that they lost. So I'm rapping about that. People gonna draw to it and relate to it.
So many things that our young men are in need of, but the main thing is obviously for me is mentorship. I think our young men need guidance because many of them are lost. I think a lot of the reasons why our young men have issues today is because they don't have father figures in their home, many of them, and they don't have a structured environment. They don't see hope for the future. And in my opinion, that comes from leadership and it comes from fatherhood, and a lot of our young men are missing that.
A lot of them come from situations where they are female head of household or in schools where the majority of their teachers are female. And there's a lack of a positive male presence. So when they find one that tries to lead them to a path that'll lead to success, they flock to them.
Our back is that we need men in the homes to teach our sons how to do that, to tie a tie, to wear a watch, to do gentlemanly things. Women can teach men how to treat a woman, but only a man can teach a man how to be a man.
It's important to live in a balance. One of my things that my father always showed us was the balance. So we have the church aspect, and we know the churches, especially when you're younger, it's like, I want to go to church. We're in church all day. But my dad always made sure that we just wasn't so holy that we were no earthly good. But he allowed us to do things, and I would remember him. I'm the youngest of 7. So when my dad actually had me, he was pretty up in age. And so, but I still remember him taking me to the basketball court and shooting hoops even at that age. I remember him taking me swimming. I remember him making sure that he was at every baseball, every basketball game that I had. I remember all of the family trips.
Helping them to understand that just because your father may not be around, that doesn't make you less of a person, less human, or less loved because you don't have them in your life all the time. I try to teach them that being consistent is important and that they need to love themselves and be okay in their own skin and not try to conform to what society has set out for them to be or thinks that they should be.
Kids need an outlet. They need something that they can relate to. As a parent, sometimes we don't see that. We just see what they shouldn't do sometimes, and that could be discouraging. So what I want to say is, it's the way the society is going today. There's so much out there that's exposed to us, exposed to our kids. We still have to be parents and just listen to them.
When I became a father, it was important for me to do the same thing, to live in that balance, not to always, in regards to pushing them. We know that they have to work hard, but it's important to also play and do different things. So it's nothing strange for us to go to Chuck E. Cheese and be there for 6-7 hours. It's nothing strange for us to go to Washington, D.C. We've been to Disney World. We've been to Wisconsin, the Dells. They've gone on week-long college tours to New York, to Atlanta, to all over the place. So at their young age, they've been exposed to a lot. And it's partly because of my dad exposing us to a lot and showing us things, but yet making sure that you hold them accountable and living in that balance of making sure if you work hard, you can also play and have fun.
The one thing that I say to all our young men is you are great. You have greatness in you. You don't know because you've never been exposed. Exposure is everything. So I always tell every young person I meet, you have greatness in you, especially our sons.
Everyone has purpose. Everyone has an assignment on this earth. And if they know that within their heart, they'll know that they have value on this earth and that God has a plan for their life.
Being okay with who you are and not conforming to what other people want you to do or want you to be, and always put 110% into whatever you do.
I want the older children to feel empowered, but also to feel educated about their moves, about what they do in this world, and to know that if they continue in a positive fashion, that they will have great outcomes.
We've all talked about the village that it takes to raise a child. So it's going to take the same village for my son. It takes the mentors, the teachers, the preachers, the policemen. It takes all of us to get this job done. Help me help my son.